Hey guys, and for today's video, we're going to be doing two looks using the new Alter Ego Misthaven palette. So this is the Misthaven 18 color eyeshadow palette. Embark on a mystical journey with Misthaven, where the mysterious beauty of a fog-laden forest is captured in 18 hauntingly beautiful eyeshadows. This palette weaves a tapestry of dusky purples, deep earth tones, and misty grays with the sparks of shimmering silver and muted gold. Crafted for exquisite blending and rich saturation, these shadows encourage bold exploration of nuanced expression, perfectly suited for creating looks that resonate with the silent power of nature. So in this palette, we're going to be getting 6 shimmers, 11 mattes, and 1 cream shade. Don't know how much use I'll necessarily get out of the cream shade. Definitely could try using it at some point as like a creamy base, but I definitely won't use it as like eyeliner. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys on in and we'll get started. I'm feeling overly lazy with my eyebrows lately. I hate doing my eyebrows. Right, so I lazily did my eyebrows and I went ahead and primed my lids. So now we're going to go ahead and dive on into this palette. And I think that the first shade that I'm going to go in with is going to be this one right here. And this is called Petal, and I'm going to put that in my crease. Has some nice pigmentation to it. I think that this could definitely be a beginner-friendly palette simply because the main mattes right over here, you can just go straight down the rows if you wanted to. And then these pair pretty much with any of the shimmers in this palette. All right, and then to blend that shade out, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and this is called Velvet. And I think just because I'm going to take this shade right here called Fawn, and I'm going to put that on the inner portion of my crease. All right, so now that that shade is laid down, I'm actually going to go into kind of one of the more mauve type of colors. I'm going to go into this corner shade right here called Murk, and I think I'm going to do a halo eye look today, so I'm going to put that on the inner and the outer corner. I don't think I'll get to use every shade in this palette, but we'll give her a try. Definitely a palette you can make very easy, everyday type of looks, and then you can also glam it up for nighttime looks as well. So that's how those shades laid down. I'm going to go ahead and work on blending this out, lay down some NYX glitter primer in the center, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. The first shade that I'm going to go in with is this one right here, and this is called Secrets, and I'm going to put that right next to that matte shade that I just laid down. Not the biggest payoff even with the primer, but I do know and recognize that not everyone wants extremely pigmented shades. All right, and then to tap on in the center, I'm going to go in with this really pretty shade right here, and this is called Cluster. Okay, I really like how that looks. Beautiful. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other eye off camera, do the rest of my face makeup, and we'll come back and we'll do the lower lash line. Now we're going to go ahead and finish off the lower lash line. So to do that, I'm going to take this shade right here called Thistle, and then I'm going to blend it out with Plum. All right, you guys, and this is the final look. I'd say for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how this look turned out. The shimmers were a little bit more hard pan than what I'm used to with Alter Ego. Usually their shimmers are a pretty buttery formula, but with the glitter primer, I think that they did well enough. I absolutely love that cluster shade that I have right here in the center. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The mattes blended out really, really nicely. I think they're comparable, if not better, in my opinion, than the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda Beauty. I do really like how this look turned out. So I will see you guys tomorrow, or for you guys, it's going to be a couple of seconds and we'll start working on look number 2. All right, so now we're going to start working on look number 2. So I think today and kind of, I don't know, I just got done filming another video, which more than likely will go up before this one. But I think to kind of match in here, I'm going to go, I think I'm just going to go down this row right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the shade Ember in my crease. Well, it definitely looks a little bit darker on the eye than it does in the pan. That's okay. It's still laying down really nicely. It does seem like it's pretty buildable, so that's also nice. So to blend that shade out, I'm going to go in with the shade right above it right here, and this is called Pale. All right, and now to darken up the outer corner, I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Nutmeg, and then I'm going to darken it up even more with this shade right here called Void. Taking that on a crease brush. Oh, that shade has some nice pigment to it already. I really love like these taupe kind of brown colors with the cool tone muted browns. I feel like this one in the pan looks a little bit warmer than it does on the eyes. Lays down really nicely though, and I'm going to take ever so slight small amount of Void to darken this up a little bit more. The shades lay down really nice. It has a lot of pigment to it. So now I'm just going to go back into Ember and Pale and work on blending that out. I feel like I look like I'm getting ready to go to a Christmas party. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Right, I blended those shades out and laid down a little bit of some NYX glitter primer. So now for the shimmers, I'm going to attempt to use 3 of them again. So the first one that I'm going to go in with is this one right here, and this is called Mist. And I'm going to put that right next to the dark brown. Doesn't have the most amount of pigment, but it is pretty nice. I think the Huda Beauty one is probably a little bit creamier than what this one, and this one feels a little kind of hard in the pan, which I think is kind of unusual for this brand. Right, and then next to that, I'm going to go into this shade right here, and this is called Moon. I'll lay that directly next to it. All right, and then last, I'm going to go into the shade right next to it right here, and this is called Twinkle. So that's how that looks. I mean, I think it looks like a nice kind of date night, glam Christmas party type of look. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye off camera, and then we'll come on back and we'll do the inner corner, brow bone, and lower lash line. Now going back into the palette, I'm going to go ahead and do my lower lash line, and to start with, I'm going to go into this brown shade up here in the corner, and this is called Echo. And then I think for the inner corner, I'm just going to use that Twinkle shade that I used on the inside of my eye and bring that down underneath into the corner. I'm going to pick it up on a brush and spray it. I definitely think that this is probably more of like a topper kind of shade. I'm also going to use this shade to do my brow bone. Alright you guys, and this is the completed look number 2. I'd say for the most part I'm pretty happy with how this looks. Some of the shimmers were a little bit harder than what I would have liked. Typically their shimmers usually are pretty soft in the pan, but these ones were definitely on the harder side, but I do like how the look turned out overall. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys on out and give you guys my final opinions, and we'll wrap up today's video. Alright guys, and what are my final opinions on the Alter Ego Misthaven palette? So I definitely do like the color story. There's always going to be a place and a time for our neutral palettes. It is definitely a very good dupe for the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. So obviously this is the Pretty Grunge and this is the Misthaven palette. So definitely good dupes for one another, much more affordable price. I'd say that the mattes in both of them are going to be pretty comparable, but I will say that I do believe that the shimmers in this one are definitely better. But overall, I'd say I'm not disappointed to have this palette, but do you absolutely need it? No, but if these are your color stories, I definitely think that this is a fantastic alternative if you were not able to pick up the Pretty Grunge or were unable to afford to. So overall, I'm pretty happy that I have this palette. Do have a couple gripes with the shimmers, but the mattes performed fantastic. And if you lay down a little bit of glitter glue, then I think you'll get out of the shimmers what you should be able to. Thank you for watching another one of my videos today. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I do upload between 3 to 5 times every single week, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.